Hey everybody, Chad with NatureBox Pet Emporium, and today we are going to start a multi-part terrarium build for a customer that has commissioned us to build him an enclosure for his pygmy chameleon. Pygmy chameleons are a fantastic terrarium-friendly chameleon. You can keep in a naturalistic terrarium as small as 12, 12, 18. This customer in particular, however, wants to do a group of pygmies, probably maybe 2 males, 4 females. So he went with a little bit bigger of a terrarium. Here we have the Exoterra 241818 terrarium, which we are going to put in a foam background. We're then going to cover the background with silicone and a bedding mixture to make it look more naturalistic. In the background itself, we're going to embed pieces of cork, some branches, mapani wood. When it's all done, we're going to add our layers of our drainage layer, separate them with the moss, and then plant it up really nicely with plants and sticks and decor that are appropriate for a pygmy chameleon. So the first thing that we need to do is kind of keep in mind what animal is going to go inside your enclosure. Then get a few things so that'll go in it. We were looking at cork earlier, and we think that these 2 pieces of cork will look especially nice in here. We're going to kind of put this piece of cork in the corner, and then we'll have plants coming out of that. That'll look really nice. And then this piece that's going to get embedded into the background, maybe something like this, or kind of thinking at an angle to break up the corners, make it look a little more real. So I'm kind of thinking like that. It looks really good. So I'm happy with that. So the first step is to not drop the cork. That is the first step. Second step is to put the terrarium on its back so we can start with the foam. Then turn it around. Okay, so now you have access to the back of the terrarium where you can get into it and you can work freely. So this is great stuff. This is normal, just expanding foam. There's pond variants, there's crack sealing variants. It's all basically the same thing. Get whatever's cheapest. This will run you less than $6. So shake it up real well. And then the key to great stuff is only use a little bit. You'll be surprised how much expands. If you really just go crazy with it, you're going to fill your whole terrarium up with foam, leaving a lot of wasted space and no space for your animals. So if you're new to this, go slow. You can always add more. Carving great stuff is a huge pain in the butt and it leaves a massive mess. So it's better to just do it right the first time. Do a layer, let it dry, do another layer, let it dry, etc., until you get the result that you're looking for. So shake it up and begin. So we're going to coat the entire back of the terrarium, so this will take a little while. Something worth mentioning is that when you put the great stuff near the top, don't run it all the way along the top because it will expand. If that happens, you're going to have a heck of a time getting the lid back on. So be mindful of that. So that is a pretty good start. That will expand. You don't want it to look fake. So don't just, do like a Pac-Man thing and go back and forth. That might be efficient in getting the background filled, but it'll look kind of weird. Even after you coat it, it'll still look a little funky. So just go everywhere with it, and to get that not fake look. So now that we have that kind of the base layer down, we're going to set in these few pieces of cork that we're going to build into the background itself, and get those in. So like before we started, we kind of mocked them up where we wanted. And there we go. So kind of just look, make sure it's good. Don't put it all the way against the bottom of the terrarium because you're going to have substrate there. So you'd be wasting the cork if you were to put it all the way against the bottom. So now that that is in place, you want to lock it in place by adding more foam. This will be a multi-step process because the foam has to fill in that void because you don't want anything to get in there. We'll do soil. We'll put soil and moss in there, but you also want to add a little great stuff just so you don't have to use an excessive amount of soil and waste it. Adding lots of great stuff around the perimeter. And then the other side as well. Okay, so once that dries, that's locked in, it's not going anywhere. Now, kind of figure, channel your inner Bob Ross and figure out where the happy piece of cork wants to go. I think it wants to go right there. There we go. Then fill in a few more spots that are not covered by the foam. You can see it's starting to expand. So then go back through and add little pieces, fill in.